All right, let's just jump right in. You know that feeling when you're faced with a giant list of advanced words? It can be kind of daunting, like you're staring up at a huge mountain. But what if I told you there's a much smarter and way faster way to learn them all?
I mean, really think about that. How would you do it? 20 new, tricky words in just 5 minutes. It sounds kind of impossible, doesn't it?
Well, here's the secret. It's not about brute force memorization. Nope. The key is to start thinking like a word detective, to spot the hidden codes and patterns that link all these words together. And today, we are going to crack that code.
Okay, so let's get into our first group. I like to call these the words that go around. They're all about movement, sure, but not usually in a nice straight line. Think of them as taking the scenic route. The secret key to this whole group is the prefix circum. It's from the Latin word for circle, and it literally just means around. Once you get that, you'll see how all these other words just kind of unlock themselves. So, first up, circuitous. If you take a circuitous route, you're not going straight there. You're going around the main road, probably to dodge some traffic. You know, it's the long, winding way home.
Now let's apply that same idea to the way we talk. That's circumlocution. It means talking around a point. Instead of just being direct, someone uses a ton of extra words, usually to avoid giving a straight answer.
Circumscribed is all about drawing a boundary. Imagine drawing a circle around something on a page. That's the idea. If your authority is circumscribed, it means a line has been drawn around what you're allowed to do, basically limiting your power.
Here, the meaning gets a little more metaphorical. To be circumspect is to look around before you act. That spect part is related to seeing, like in spectacles. So you're checking all the angles, looking for danger. It's the definition of being cautious.
And let's wrap this section with the ultimate around word, circumvent. This is all about finding a clever way around a rule or a problem. You're not breaking it, you're just going around it. Think of a hacker trying to circumvent a security system. All right, so we've gone around. Now let's switch gears and look at a bunch of words that are all about coming together. The whole theme here is connection and building things up. Our new secret code is the prefix co. It's super simple, super powerful, and you see it everywhere. It just means with or together. You know, like co-worker, co-pilot. It's all about partnership. Our first example is coagulate. This happens when a liquid thickens up. Just picture all the little particles in a sauce or in blood coming together to form a clump. It's a very physical kind of joining.
Coalesce is pretty similar, but we tend to use it for more abstract stuff. You might see a few small startup companies coalesce into one giant corporation, or a bunch of different ideas coalesce into one amazing plan.
So what's the real difference between them? Well, coagulate is almost always for liquids that are physically turning solid. Think chemistry. Coalesce is more about separate things like ideas or groups of people merging into a new whole. Think strategy.
Okay, now let's apply this together idea to logic. We've got two great words here, cogent and coherent. A cogent argument is one where all the pieces fit together perfectly to be really, really convincing. And a coherent explanation is one where everything sticks together and just makes sense. It's all about logical unity. All right, time for our final section, the C-word power pack. Think of this as a lightning round. These are the rest of our words. They're a bit of a mixed bag, but each one is fascinating. Let's do this. First up, a trio of power words. To coerce someone is to force them to do something they don't want to do. A clamor is that loud, demanding noise a crowd makes when they're protesting. And clout is your influence, your pull, your power to make things happen.
Now this next one is really interesting. The word cleave is its own opposite. For real, a butcher uses a cleaver to cleave meat apart, right? But you can also cleave to your principles, which means you stick to them tightly. It just shows you how beautifully weird English can be. One little word describing two totally opposite things. It's a perfect reminder that context is absolutely everything.
And for our final three, clandestine means secret, like a clandestine meeting between spies. Clemency is an act of mercy, like when a governor grants someone clemency. And finally, cobbler, a person who fixes shoes. Now, why is that here? Honestly, to make a point. Sometimes the most out-of-place thing on a list is the one you remember best. Let's see if it works. So, we've raced through a whole lot of words, but the goal here wasn't just to dump a list on you. It was to give you a new tool, a new skill, a kind of vocabulary superpower. Because when you get down to it,
We didn't just learn 20 words. We learned a method. We learned to look for the prefixes, the hidden logic that connects our language. And that's the skill that's going to help you learn thousands more.
It all comes down to simple patterns like these. You see circum, your brain thinks around. You see co, you think together. This is how you move from just memorizing to actually understanding the architecture of words.
We've really only just scratched the surface with the letter C. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know how to look for these patterns, what other hidden codes are you going to discover out there?